Welcome to the WMMA Streets. And yes, you heard that right. This whole channel is going to be devoted to WMMA sports betting. I know what some of y'all are thinking already. Oh my gosh, WMMA. Those fights are so boring. They're low level. They're impossible to predict. Look, y'all do what you want, but at the end of the day, the women's fights are the softest lined by far and the best opportunity for making money in MMA. So no time to waste. Let's get into it. We have Tracy Cortez at minus 250 on DraftKings versus Viviane Araujo at plus 210 on Caesars and ESPN Bet. Always line shot, people. Saves you money. You don't want to just be giving free money to the sports books just because you were too lazy to switch books and shop for a better line. And this is an interesting fight. You got Tracy Cortez coming off a short notice main event loss in Denver to Thug Rose. Denver is Rose's backyard, so definitely a spot. It was going to be an uphill battle for Cortez to come in and win. That being said, she was a step behind the entire fight. Rose, she didn't really have much for Rose. Rose looked like she always had an answer, and it was a decisive win. Viviane, on the other hand, is coming off a win against Karine Silva at UFC 309. Karine Silva was a hot prospect coming into that fight, and Viviane gave her the veteran lesson, showed her there's levels to this game, and Karine Silva was not cut out to be a top fighter at this point in time. Looking at this card, this is a big spot. It's International Fight Week, headlined by Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. Yeah, it doesn't get much bigger than that. This might end up being the biggest card of the entire year. So with that comes decision dynamics that I'll get into later. And this fight is going to be a competitive one. So just to address the elephant in the room here to start, neither fighter is going to finish the other one on the feet. You look at the sports books, it's lined as high as minus 600 to finish via decision. And I largely agree with that. Vivi and Tracy, look at both of them. Neither one of them has finished someone via KO or TKO since 2019. Tracy, she primarily uses boxing and leg kicks, and you'll see, even in that Yazoo Davicius fight, the hardest shots she lands, they sting, but it doesn't scream like, oh, she has the power to knock someone out cold. Viviane, she's primarily a grappler like Tracy, and she gets by with athleticism and fundamental boxing on the feet, but she doesn't commit to like a giant strike that can put someone away. Tracy, you look in that last fight against Rose, she was dropped in round one, but never in much danger of getting finished. So I really don't see Vivi coming in here and starching her. Both these girls are grapplers by trade, and both of them have really great grappling defense. With Tracy, you'll see that she has 62% takedown defense, and honestly, I think she probably will get taken down in this fight. You'll see in the Thug Rose fight and one of the shots in the Jasmine Yazoo Davicius fight, she is pretty slow when it comes to stuffing takedowns. Girls, if they're fast enough or just time it right, are easily able to get to her hips and take her down. That being said, when she's on the ground, Tracy's elite at getting back to the feet. You'll see her constantly fight. She'll get to the wall and scramble her way back up to the feet. Thug Rose really couldn't hold her down at all. Jasmine Yazoo Davicius, she had one takedown where she held her down for maybe like 40 seconds. But, I mean, she's like the boogeyman in the division right now when it comes to grappling. She just holds girls down and ground and pounds them. And Tracy just didn't let that happen. I don't see Vivi coming in here, taking her down and holding her there. I think Tracy's just going to pop right back up. On the other side of things, Tracy's a wrestler. She grew up in a wrestling household, and you can definitely see that. She has some slick takedowns. Against Rose, she had one where she got to the hips. It was a clean shot, quick shot, and then inside trip, put Rose on her butt. End of the round, so she didn't get much out of it, but she's definitely capable of landing her takedowns as well. That being said, Viviane's takedown defense is elite, and she's rocking an 80%, and it does seem like a legit 80% as far as I can tell. That last fight against Karine Silva is just massive for the division, and she kept trying to get in there, bully Viviane to the ground, but you can see she's spent hundreds of hours working on takedown defense. I don't see her getting taken down often by Tracy. Tracy can sneak in one or two potentially, but I actually don't think this is going to be a grappling match. I think both of them, their grappling defense is going to nullify one another, and we're going to see this fight mostly take place on the feet. That being said, if it does end up on the ground, Vivi, she's dangerous with the BJJ. She had an armbar attempt against Karine Silva, and she's just, I'm not saying that she's like the greatest BJJ practitioner in the division or anything, but she is definitely dangerous enough down there to get a submission. That being said, I do think that at this point Tracy's a veteran, and even if she does get caught in some submission attempt, I don't think she's going to get finished by it. I think she'll find a way to escape. So I'm not really worried about that. If this fight is not going to be taking place on the ground, the key to this fight is going to be how Tracy handles the movement of Viviane when they're on the feet. You saw in that Thug Rose fight, Tracy really struggled to cut Rose off. Rose, as the announcers say, Rose was on her bicycle, moving around, making it very hard for Tracy to set up and get offense off. Rose is able to cleanly get her offense off, get out before Tracy can counter, and Tracy ends up hitting air a lot in that fight. And it's concerning because you look at Viviane's last fight against Karine Silva, and she had a very similar game plan. She is constantly backing up, making Karine run right into her punches, and using that athleticism to run circles around Karine Silva. Tracy, she found success blitzing Thug Rose in round 3. She went back to the corner. She's out of fight ready, and Eddie Cha and Santino DeFranco do great corner work. They really got into Tracy's head and like, look, you're not going to win the fight. You got to switch something up. She starts blitzing and having more success, but she would land like 4 or 5 good strikes, then get taken down by Rose. So there's a world where that same exact thing happens in this fight. There's a world where Tracy can't deal with Viviane's athleticism. Viviane's definitely quicker than Tracy. And Tracy Cortez could find herself cleanly behind on the judges' scorecards. That being said, Tracy has had a year to improve, so she should have better answers for Viviane's movement than she had against Rose. Rose, she takes that fight, like I said, on short notice. Meanwhile, this fight, a whole year to train. She's already fought a fighter who fights like Viviane. So she should have way better answers to the test. We'll see. It's also worth noting, though, that Tracy should have a massive cardio advantage against Viviane, and it would not surprise me at all to see Tracy go in and put a pace on her. Viviane has shown cardio issues in the past. Against Karine Silva, Karine Silva just gassed so bad. She can't even stay on the feet. She's falling over when she tries to throw a strike. So it kind of overshadows the fact that Viviane is also really, really gassed. Meanwhile, you got Tracy Cortez on the other side, and she takes this fight against Thug Rose on short notice. She was training for a fight with Miranda Maverick, to be fair, so it's not like she was out of camp, but she wasn't training for a fight in Denver. She wasn't training for a 5-round fight. And in this fight with Thug Rose that's got a really high pace, she looks fresh in round 5. So Cortez, it would not surprise me at all for her to come out here and just start putting pressure on Viviane from the beginning, from the jump. Given the lack of finishing options both girls possess, it's probably going to the judges' scorecards. It is WMMA after all, and y'all know what that means. It means the crooked, corrupt judges are going to be sitting cage side without any cameras, without any stats. They're just going to be looking through a chain-linked fence, trying to determine who wins this fight. These two women have their fate in the hands of these judges. And, God, it's terrible. It's terrible. But it's a conversation for another day. As I said off the top, it's UFC 317. It's going to have the most eyes on it of any pay-per-view this whole year. And it's no secret that the UFC judges, especially in these big pay-per-view spots, are biased towards star power. You don't have to believe me, but mark my words. If the fight is competitive at all, Tracy Cortez is going to come away with the decision. It's why I kind of agree with how the fight's lined right now. You might as well score every closely contested round for Tracy because that's what the judges are going to do. They're not going to give it to Vivi. Vivi's got to win very decisively to win a decision in this spot. You look at Vivi, she's a 38-year-old gatekeeper. She's pretty exciting for the division, but at the end of the day, her potential is capped. She's not going to get much better. If she went on a run to the title, that'd be really shocking to me. She's definitely just like a gatekeeper that's going to hover around rank 10 in the division and challenge these up-and-coming girls. Meanwhile, you got Tracy Cortez. She's definitely the A side here. She's young for the division at 31 years old. The casual MMA fan, definitely, they have no idea who Viviane Araujo is, but they might know who Tracy Cortez is. I mean, she's in Jose Cuervo commercials. 31 years old for the division, like I said. She can fight until she's 40 in this division. Girls do it all the time. And Tracy's got swagger. You can see that in Thug Rose fight and the Jazzy Davicius fight. She's got some swagger in her, some Kevin Holland. So you do the math. I mean, the UFC wants Tracy Cortez to win. They want her to be one of the future faces of WMMA. So get into the bets here. My favorite bet is a bet that you actually can't make yet. It's a live bet for Tracy Cortez, middle of round 1, end of round 1. Like I said, Viviane, she gasses, but early on, she's going to look good. She's definitely not going to look plus 220, I can tell you that. And this fight is going to be competitive. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Tracy Cortez is doing what she did against Rose and she's swinging and missing early and is struggling to find Viviane in there. When people see something like that, a real bad visual like Tracy Cortez, she's swinging, missing a ton, they're going to jump all over the Viviane side. Especially in WMMA, people are going to panic. The line is going to plummet. It's going to be around even. Tracy, we might even be able to get a dog money if she loses round 1. And it wouldn't surprise me if she loses round 1. That being said, Tracy Cortez is someone who's going to be able to change and make in-fight adjustments. She showed that in the Thug Rose fight. Thug Rose just had too deep of a bag she couldn't overcome. Viviane, you watch her, she's very good at sticking to a game plan, but she doesn't adjust mid-fight. She's going to stick to her game plan that she had originally throughout the whole fight. So Tracy Cortez is going to get better as the fight goes on here. Give me Tracy Cortez when we can get her at great odds, middle or late round 1. The best fight you can make currently, I think, is Tracy Cortez by decision. You can get that at minus 190 at FanDuel. I honestly think that's great. You see Tracy Cortez at minus 250 in a lot of spots right now, and you can get her at minus 190 by decision. Almost all of her win outcomes are going to be by decision. So that's a great spot. And then if you play underdog, personally, I'd say try to stay away from underdog. Underdog takes a huge rake when you try to parlay everything up. So yeah, I would say avoid underdog. But if you're just looking at significant strike lines in general, I'm seeing Viviane Araujo at 47.5, and I like the over on that. That looks like it's taken directly from that Karine Silva fight. Karine Silva fight, Vivi landed 48 significant strikes. It's at 47.5 here. The way Tracy Cortez fights, she's going to put herself in positions to get hit. She's going to take one to give one, especially if she's blitzing in. So I definitely like Viviane to go over the number of strikes she had in that last fight against Karine. Hopefully you got something out of this video. You should be able to make smarter, sharper decisions with your money this weekend. Let me know in the comments if you're betting on this fight or any others. I mean, I'm assuming you're betting on others, so give me your best bet for this week. Doesn't have to be WMMA, just anything on UFC 317. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing this from now on, pumping out WMMA videos every week. We're going to be stacking the money, so stay tuned for sure, and good luck out there this weekend. Adios.